pushing, and 80% of your sales are going to come from the top 5 or 10% of your titles. That shifts with rental because everything is now the same price. You're not taking a risk on a $20 title. So we actually have 33% of our rentals that come from 80% of the bottom catalog, which is about 4 times industry average. And what that allows you to do is make money off of your back catalog as well. So great, you have a new book by a new author, but they have 12 other books in their back catalog. Bringing it back down to really the goal is to make money. And you can make money as long as you can push units and it's priced appropriate.
And now we have, gentlemen, I'm just going to, I should mention about Dean that I saw Dean gave me a little individual presentation at Book Expo America with basically a flying iPad. I know he's not going to be able to do that in this particular format, but if you have the opportunity, get this dude to show you what he can do with an iPad. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Johnson.
Seems like only 10 minutes ago. I've been through professing love for books, apps, design. Here's Mr. Bump. I'm going to tell you what books we have now and what we could potentially do with them. The potential is almost endless because some of this is not necessarily based in reality just yet. So, Mr. Bump, love reading to my daughters, but imagine if, let's take it to the next step, we're not just turning the pages, we're rattling that iPad around and Mr. Bump's bouncing all over the place. Actually, more than that, let's actually unravel his bandages and he spins on the spot. Imagine what you could do with Mr. Tickle or Mr. Strong. Okay, pop-up books. Pop-up books are fantastic. We've just launched our own digital pop-up book, quick plug. But imagine the physicality of a pop-up book is fantastic. Take that as a straight interpretation to digital and you're not doing justice to the original concept and the theatre of the thing. Okay, let's add something to that. Let's add some interactivity. Add some content within the realms. Okay, we're flying through, we're including games and puzzles, the things that you couldn't always have in a pop-up book. You're not just pulling a tab, you're actually interacting with it. Okay, Masquerade. It was an amazing concept. It sent people all over the place looking to dig up this pesky rabbit that was worth probably next to nothing in the end. But imagine that using social networking and the kind of interaction we now have, the kind of content we now have access to using augmented reality. You're actually holding, they all look like iPads, but they do all look like iPads anyway. Okay, we've got a camera in this one. You're panning around, it's showing you, it's giving you the clues, but also it's rewarding you as you're turning up wherever you're going. Also, social interaction, see who else is using it. Okay, let's add something. Okay, we're looking at ebooks. Enhanced ebooks don't do it for me yet. If I'm adding a video, okay, fine, I could watch a video. But imagine if the thriller, the horror novel that you're reading is actually adding at key points within that story sound. It's adding that creepy sound that works so well in a film, but it's actually sending the shiver up your spine because it's not really it's not interrupting that reading process. Also, the pad up vibrates to a heartbeat. Imagine that building up to the suspenseful moment. Okay, moving on to, okay, let's look at the world of architecture. You imagine there's apps that allow you from the high end to create all sorts of buildings, whatever you want to do with that. But imagine you're browsing liberally through the entire history of world architecture, but actually you're now using a printed book with augmented reality and some of these buildings are being brought to life. That's keeping some of that print content relevant and alive, but also allowing you to, on a kind of light level, actually interact and create your own buildings and floor plans. Okay, kids' first cookbook. There's a great position where you're encouraging your children to go into the kitchen and cook. There becomes a point where actually that's quite messy and they can't do it all the time. If they've got access to an iPad or an iPhone, well, let them interact with that. Maybe practice, maybe use as an excuse for not getting food all over the place, but you're breaking an egg, you're rolling something. It's not taking away from that experience, it's allowing the kids, and that's the same with all these, let them do something on their own and interact with the humans, the family, the parents. Okay, dinosaurs. This is another opportunity to go back to the pop-up book. Imagine the pop-up book, we're still not doing it justice. Let's use that as a delivery mechanism. Let's use that as something as a way of introducing really interesting, engaging content. So, we open up the book. As the book opens, a 3D model of a Tyrannosaurus Rex appears. As we swipe past the Tyrannosaurus, it rotates and reveals the skeleton. Another page opens, pterodactyl flies out. These are things that we couldn't do with the physical pop-up book that we're now adding to. We're moving on to Doctor Who. Okay, Doctor Who, brilliant. Obviously, the audience, the whole thing surrounds technology. Why not take that, imagine it with the annual? An annual covers all sorts, and it doesn't mean it's just for Christmas. It's not like a puppy. It means that you can add something to that to last a year. Okay, well, we've got the TARDIS. We're using it as a central hub. We're using a non-linear journey. We've got pages rotating around this because you don't need to read an annual as you do a story. But let's include animated comic strips in there in a way that you wouldn't sell them on as individuals. Okay, Guinness World Records, we were responsible for the very successful app out there. Well, let's look at Guinness World Records Gamers Edition. An obvious choice for cross-promotion and actually sampling the games that are available on a mobile platform. So let's look at, okay, we're reading this as almost a conventional book, but we're genuinely bringing it to life because all of these records relate to games. Let's sample them. Let's have the first level played and then fantastic cross-selling opportunity. Moving on to finally, high school yearbooks, always fun, but that's kind of been usurped by Friends Reunited, Facebook, but it's always nice to keep that encapsulated with all the people you went to school with. Well, imagine if, again, slightly based in fantasy, we're now looking at reality app TV. Where are they now? Let's use CCTV. One might be in prison, but there's plenty of cameras in prison. Let's follow them. It's quite fun. Actually, it's moving reality TV on another level, and it's mobile. It's in your pocket. Thank you very much.